If you have ever tried to build a funnel for your business before, you know just how agonizing it can be to choose the right type of funnel so that it can meet your expectations and fit your goals. So, today we are going to break down the 20 most common types of funnels and rank them from S tier to F tier so you know by the end of this video what type of funnel you should go with and why. If you don't know me, my name is Chris, and over the past 5 years, I have built over 100 funnels for 7, 8, and 9 figure businesses in the online education and B2B spaces. So let's dive right in. We are going to be ranking these funnels off of 3 primary criteria. The first is going to be ease of use and ease to set up. How easily can you build this thing from the ground up, and how much maintenance is going to take you to keep it running? The second is going to be revenue potential and profitability. How much money can you make with this type of funnel? How scalable is it, and will it break along the way? The third is going to be cash flow cycle. How soon after you run this funnel will you be able to make money depending on where you are at in your journey? So, obviously, all of these funnels can work to some extent for different people. Every funnel is going to work differently for different folks. And so, I'm going to go through each of these and rank them. Quick disclaimer, this has been in my experience, right? Things work differently for different people, but I am giving this advice generally as it pertains to you just owning a business, running something through your personal brand. And this is for service-based businesses, online educators, creators, right? If you're selling things online. So let's go right through. First, we're going to start with free community funnel. So this would be if you send people to a landing page and it just has them join a community. Maybe you have them join a free school community. Maybe you have them go through a page and put in their name, email, phone number, and then you send them an invite to their email or their phone with a free community. It can be on a separate community app. It can be on Facebook, whatever it is. This type of funnel is going straight into B tier. Okay, let me explain why. Free community funnels are fun. They're easy to set up. They're dynamic. You can make a lot of cash flow on them, but they are not always going to be the funnels that are going to be the most scalable. Neither are they going to be the funnels that are going to be the most engaged. And you really can't tell. I mean, you can put screening questions when people join the free community, but other than that, you really cannot tell how qualified someone is when they join a free community. You're essentially just collecting email addresses and getting another point of contact to DM them potentially if you have them in school. They're not great. They're not horrible. They're just kind of meh, right? The second one is a classic lead magnet funnel. And unfortunately, this is going straight into F tier. These are going to be like your classic ebooks, the things that you see people wanting to trade their email for, and just have random businesses say like, oh, get my free guide to how to, build a desk, right? Like, this is very generic stuff that's going to be easily wiped out by AI. It has no differentiation whatsoever. And a lot of these classic lead magnet funnels worked really well when information was scarce. Now information is not scarce. No one wants another ebook. No one wants another downloadable, right? Things that they can't even tangibly use. So no one wants more information. Therefore, classic lead magnet funnels are really not worth your time building and not worth your time trying to deliver or trying to scale with them. Paid live challenge funnels. So this is going straight into A tier. These are really, really, really solid. I've seen a lot of these funnels and been parts of building them that hit multiple 8 figures, multiple 7 figures per month, even spending, X amount, like $1 million in ads. I've worked with clients that, spent $1 million a month on ads and made $4 million from just a paid live challenge funnel. So what this looks like is like maybe you have a challenge where you're teaching people how to sew clothing, right? And it's a $17 make your first, sweater challenge, right? And so it's a 5-day challenge. It's a live challenge. You run it, let's say, once a month. You run ads to it, $17. You break even on the ad cost. And then you sell people something high ticket throughout the live challenge. So the good thing about this format is that it's very reliable in terms of you being able to spend a concentrated amount of time with a certain specific group of pre-qualified, already customer people. So it makes it also very scalable because it's self-liquidating. And you can also run it in a seasonal progression, right? So one of the most powerful things you can do for funnels is like really pour a lot into the top. Then you can go and you can experiment and you can optimize, you can tweak it, and then make it better for the next time. So paid live challenge funnels are really, really good on a monthly cadence. The only drawback that's keeping them from S tier is you need to be quite an experienced business owner in terms of actually making them work, right? You need to be able to deliver live. You need to be able to set them up live. You need to be able to have the right traffic come into the funnel. It's really awkward if there's only 2 people on like a paid live challenge, right? So you need to make sure that you have the right cash flow. This is really good for scaling. I would say from anywhere between multiple 6 figures all the way to multiple 8 figures or even 9 figures with a paid live challenge funnel. So that's going straight into A. Free course funnel. This is one of my favorites. This is going to be our favorite, our S tier, our first S tier, right? I have had experiences where I've worked with creators where we built a brand new funnel from scratch, a brand new free course, and gone from zero to $100,000 a month in that one funnel by using free courses as the lead magnet. So I think that this is a really strong, if it's done right. Let me explain. So a lot of people have free courses. A lot of people have free, email courses or whatever, but your free course needs to be, first of all, it needs to be really good. The second thing is it needs to deliver on a very specific promise that is contrarian, that goes against the grain. So for example, with one of my clients in the past, a couple of years ago, we ran a free course funnel. And what she did was she talked about the risk mitigation process in trading and day trading and how that was like a secret weapon, right? So it was very against the grain because it wasn't like, yay, go make more money. It's like, actually, you can make more money by mitigating your risk and having risk management. So it was a very interesting contrarian concept that didn't seem to mesh and align with what people usually think about. She ran a free course on that. She had a substantial audience, so that's definitely played a role. But that went from zero to $100,000 a month in about 3 months' time. So definitely S tier. I think it's very simple to set up. It can be very quick. You can have quick little 5-minute videos, little bite-sized nuggets, even if it's not a video course, even if it's just an email course, online education sort of course delivered, formatted through email or whatever you use to actually reach these people after they sign up for the free course. I think these are really, really powerful. Definitely S tier for me. Next, we have evergreen or recorded webinars. I'm going to slice these right into B tier. Evergreen recorded webinars are hard. Okay. They're not easy to pull off. You need to be very engaging and you need to make sure that you're not throwing fluff into the webinar, but still being able to sell. So you want to have the equal balance of giving value, but also selling to some extent to where you can prime and cue people up for the final pitch. At this point in 2025 and beyond, right, post-COVID era, AI era, everyone knows when they jump on a webinar, you are going to have a value stack and an offer at the end. Everyone knows, right? So if they want to just buy, the frustrating thing is you're going to make them wait 40 minutes to do so, 30 minutes, 20 minutes even. You're going to make the buyers wait. And the people that aren't sure about buying are going to be skeptical the whole time because they know you're going to sell them something. So pre-recorded webinars, again, are still good. Evergreen webinars are still good. I've still seen people crushing it with them. But I would say that they're not as effective right now at this very moment as some of the other strategies, unless you already have a really good brand, you already know how to deliver really, really well on webinars. And even then, I would argue that there's probably some better funnel strategies that would work for you. So the only situation right now where I think people should make evergreen pre-recorded webinars is if they've already done it and they've already seen success and they're just using it to scale. With that being said, I'm probably actually going to move it down to C tier. All right, paid workshop or consult call funnel. So I'm going to move this one straight into the C tier. And the reason that I say that is like paid workshops, I would say is like it's a one-to-many paid like one-time training. I think that these are somewhere synonymous to the live webinars or kind of like the live training sort of situations, but they're like a 1-day paid training, or if you're doing like a paid consult, a paid call. The reason I put that in C tier is that you have to have a certain amount or degree of trust and authority with people in order for them to actually pay for something where it's just like a one-time workshop. If you're doing a challenge, it feels more like a movement. If you're doing like a course or something like that, it feels like they're getting more of a package. If it's just a singular workshop and you're getting them to pay, you have to have a substantial amount of trust built up with them. And if it's going to be only on a singular date, it can make it feel a little bit limiting. So that goes straight into C tier. Another A tier one that we have right here is going to be a book funnel. So book funnels are one of my favorites. These are another one where I've worked with clients and entrepreneurs who have gotten this to multiple 7 figures, multiple 8 figures in their business with just book funnels. So they write a book, they write a good lead generation book, and they go ahead and either make it free plus shipping, or they make it just digital, or maybe digital and physical, and they sell it for a price. It doesn't really matter. There's different ways to slice it, but they do really, really well, especially if the book is really well written and especially if you have a good value proposition. So The problem with book funnels is kind of similar to paid live challenge funnels, which is it just takes longer to set up. And that is one of the things. If there's a fourth criteria, right? We had the ease of use, we had the scalability and revenue, and we had the cash flow cycle. If there's a fourth criteria to what you should consider when you're making a funnel, is defensibility, right? How difficult is it for someone to copy your funnel? Because if you ever made a funnel, you may have heard of funnel hacking, which is where people go and they come to your funnel and they start stealing things, and everyone takes inspiration from everybody. No one's to blame for funnel hacking. It's just a common practice in the industry. But what can you do to make your funnel defensible, right? How can you build walls around your funnel so it's like a moat? One of the best things to do is to write a book. Ain't nobody gonna write a duplicate book. All right. I don't think that I've seen it. I mean, yes, maybe once in a blue moon or once in a very long time. But with a book funnel, it's very difficult for someone to duplicate you. So it's your unique IP. So definitely an A tier. It's not an S tier because it's going to take longer. Going to obviously need expertise. You'll need to know how to self-publish or have a publishing deal. You'll need to know how to slice those rights up. But if you get it right, it is a funnel that can pay you dividends in time. All right, newsletter funnel. This one is really a mixed bag. So I'm going to put it in the B. The reason I say it's a mixed bag is so many people do this wrong. So many people have a newsletter or they say like, join my newsletter, right? But they don't have a value proposition to it. They don't have a cadence to it. They don't have an already existing readership to it. They don't have quality newsletters that refer people out or like make people want to refer to their friends. They don't have good metrics and tracking and ability to make cash flow cycles. So it really is a B, because I've also seen people kill it with newsletters, like people who are great writers, who are in the game, who are media publishers. They do really, really well with newsletters. They publish. It can be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, every single day, 5 times a week, even every weekday. I've seen people really crush it and knock it out of the park with newsletter funnels. But it's almost something that you have to build like your entire business around, right? So like if you have a really, really strong newsletter and that's how you're running your primary funnels, okay, I mean, that is an entire business model on itself. Newsletters in general that are not connected to the funnel, right? Like, so if someone's signing up to some other sort of lead magnet, some other, like your free course, they take your free course, they go through however many days it is. Let's say it's 5 videos, 5 days. You send them an automated email sequence. And after that, they become part of your newsletter. That's different than a newsletter funnel where the reason someone's joining is because of the newsletter. Hopefully that makes sense. So I would say that that's a B tier. It really is going to be your primary funnel if you run a newsletter business. If not, I would not recommend it as your primary funnel. I would recommend maybe advertising it somewhere on your site. And by advertising, I mean like not paid on your site to show that you have a newsletter, or organic. But I would not recommend it for paid traffic or for scaling unless you run a newsletter business. In that case, go hard, because those can be really, really strong. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this tier list, and I just wanted to let you know that there's a link in the description to connect with me on LinkedIn, ask me any questions regarding funnels and anything of that nature. Let's get back to the video. So I'm going to bump live webinar funnels up to A tier because I've actually seen people do really well with live webinar funnels and work with a couple of people who have done really, really well with it. It's the same thing as with a pre-recorded webinar funnel. You're going to need skills, right? You need to be able to deliver and communicate very, very, on the fly and very succinctly, very concisely. You need to be dynamic. You need to make sure that you engage the audience. You need to be able to adapt and pivot to tech issues. It needs to be like alive, like very snappy, right? But if you run these well, you can run them every week. You can run them every other week, every 2 weeks or something like that. Then you get people to book a call after and you get them to buy. I would not necessarily always recommend that you go for like, a live webinar funnel and then you sell like right on that funnel and get people to pay on that. Get people to pay on that webinar, right? So, because if you get people to pay on that webinar, you're probably only going to be able to sell something max like $3,000. But if you use the live webinar as an opportunity to get people to get onto a sales call, get them onto a consult or something like that, then you're looking at a much better kind of booked call rate and show rate, because you've engaged and you've sat down with them and you've had this whole conversation. You've given so much value. Make it clear to them that the offer is going to be made, but you're not going to pitch them necessarily, right? That lets people's guard down and makes it like a live free training. Case study funnels, these are going straight into A tier. These are amazing. If you have a really good case study and you can make a funnel, make a training off of it. Hey, here's how I helped XYZ person get to, $100,000 a month in their business, $1 million a month in their business with XYZ formula. That's going to run really well. I mean, this is kind of a variation of the VSL, but I would say that this is really strong. The only reason it's not S tier is because not everyone has like a banger case study that's like the central case study that they can just market around that case study. And obviously, you can only juice so much out of it. You can only, squeeze one case study for so much. So this is going to be something where you'd have to adapt and build different case studies and different pathways and different funnels for different types of target audiences. The other drawback with a case study funnel is not everyone is necessarily going to resonate with the singular case study if you put it forth. If you run this, you can probably run it to, I would want to say, maximum like low 7 figures in terms of how scalable a case study funnel by itself can be. It's great as part of an ecosystem. Quiz, calculator, or assessment funnels. I'm going to move this to S tier. So the reason being is these are very simple to set up. They're very personalized. You can collect a lot of information and you can justify going from a quiz, calculator, or assessment directly to a call, right? So it's like, this is the logic in today's day and age. What people are starving for is not information. They're starving for implementation, personalization, and guidance, right? There's so much noise. People want to, your funnel should help people figure themselves out, right? Figure out what's going on in their own mind. So if you run with like a quiz or a calculator or an assessment, it helps to clear the brain fog and gives me more clarity in order for me to actually want to have a conversation with you where I trust you. And then you have more data points to where you're coming to the conversation, maybe with my quiz results, maybe with my assessment results or my calculator results. And you're able to tell me like, hey, Chris, like, you need to do XYZ 1, 2, 3 steps to get to your goal, because I know that because you filled out this 10 question quiz. It's very gamified. It's very fun. It's very dynamic. It works for organic and for paid. And you're really just going to put yourself in a good place if you use tools like, Score App, Interact, just different quiz. As long as you gamify it and you make it really fun, you make it really interesting, that's going to help capture leads. It's going to help you personalize your follow-ups and your automation sequences. It's going to help you if they get on a call to just get more information. It also doubles down as like a survey if you're very strategic about it. Maybe one of those 10 questions can help you to do some market research. So I put it in S tier because it's such a juice for a squeeze. It's like you get so many birds with that one stone if you play your cards right in a quiz, calculator, or assessment funnel. It's just a no-brainer. And honestly, with ChatGPT, with the tools these days, you can set it up in like 30 minutes. So that's going to be definitely an S tier for me. In terms of low ticket tripwire or self-liquidating offers funnels, I'm going to put this in B tier. That might be a little bit controversial because these are very, very, very extremely effective. However, they're quite a big lift and you need to have product market fit. You need to have a high ticket offer. You need to have a budget for ads, and you need to know what your audience really wants at a certain level. Low ticket tripwire offers are exactly what they sound like. They are anywhere between, I guess you would say, $7 to $97, maybe even $197 if you're really a B2B audience. And these should be impulse buys. They should be things that people want to pick up instantly. So you can kind of combine this with even like an assessment. Maybe it's like a $7 assessment that you can like fuse them together. But overall, the theory here is that you win back your ad spend with the amount that you pay, the person pays for the low ticket tripwire. So if your tripwire is $27, you want to pay $27 to acquire that first front end customer, and then everything else is gravy from there. That's the idea. That's the theory. In practice, it's very rare to find someone who's able to get the 1-for-1 trade on their first go round. It's very, very rare. Like, I haven't seen it happen. I think the closest that I've gotten with someone doing like a low ticket offer, brand new low ticket offer, and in the first week or two, they probably make like 75, 80% of their cash or their money back, and they're running ads at scale, like $100,000 a month of ads, right? So when you're doing that, my recommendation, if you're running a low ticket tripwire self-liquidating offer funnel, is that you have the cash flow to back that up. You run SLOs because you have a sales team, because you're already at 7 figures, or maybe you're already at multiple 6 figures. You have the infrastructure to where you want to find the paid ad funnel that the lever you can just switch on. That's going to allow you to recoup some of your ad spend. You already have email automation sequences in process. You know how to make the most of when someone comes in and they buy a low ticket product. If you don't have that yet, I would not recommend making a low ticket tripwire offer funnel, because you are going to waste your time. You are going to sit there and you're going to try to figure out like what's the best offer and what's the best strategy and what's the best low ticket thing that you should be creating right now. Do all this market research, start spending some ads on it, burn $1,000 and make like 100 and think that the whole thing is broken. It's not broken. It's just something that works at scale, and it works very well at scale when done right because it pre-qualifies customers. So low ticket Tripwire SLO funnels are used to bring down the cost per call, the cost per qualified call, to qualify leads at a higher level when you're at scale. And they're amazing at that, but they're not for everyone just yet. VSLs and free trainings are going to go up into S tier for me, but it needs to be done right. So that's the big star and big caveat with VSL and free training funnels. Everyone's got a VSL. You probably have a VSL on your website, or if not, you've probably considered it. Like a free training, right? Like someone puts in their name, email, phone number, and then you send them to a video. Maybe it's like 20 minutes long, 10 minutes long, 5 minutes long, 50 minutes long. It doesn't really matter. It's like a free training. They all have different structures. And I think that VSL/free training funnel is a very, very wide net. I would say here it's the same thing with like the free course funnel or the case study funnel. It needs to be a very, very niche down in terms of the messaging that you are trying to communicate, and it needs to go against the grain. It needs to be things that people haven't heard before, they haven't seen before. It needs to be intriguing, curiosity, thought-provoking. And that's what's going to get people to book a call. In all of these, what funnels that perform the best kind of open a loop and get people to want to close it by taking the next action. So if your free training is literally just like, here's who we are and here's what we do, it's like, okay, great. But is that going to convert cold traffic into booking a call with you? Probably not at the rate that you would like it to. So VSL or free training has to be very specific. It has to go directly for who it is calling out, like the target audience, and it needs to be contrarian. It needs to have an angle. It needs to cut against the noise, essentially, right? But done right, this is the first type of funnel you should have set up. Everyone should have a VSL and free training funnel, like baseline, right? Because that's something you can set up in an afternoon. It's 100% what you should do. And in fact, this funnel, someone puts in their name, email, their phone number. After they opt in, you would give them a VSL, right? In the thank you page, in the confirmation page. Because this is what I did with that creator that we took from $0 to $100,000 a month with a brand new funnel. It's like we had a free course page. You sign up for the free course, then you get a VSL. On that VSL, it tells you to book a call. You book the call, and that's when you get sold into the higher ticket thing, which is how you make the ROAS from the free course funnel. So VSLs can be attached to the back end of like literally anything. Like if you have a book funnel and someone buys the book, and after they buy the book, you're like, hey, congrats for buying the book. We're going to ship it to you now, and keep watching this video for more. Then they book a call. Same thing with a paid live challenge funnel. You can snap on a VSL right after. So they buy the challenge. It's like, hey, before the challenge starts, you can actually get on a consultation call, blah, blah, blah. So that is what you do with a VSL. So the VSL is kind of like loops and hooks into almost any funnel, right? It can even be a newsletter funnel. You can have an options in the newsletter, have a VSL, get them on a call, right? So that's really good. DM setter funnel, this is going straight into B tier. I've seen a lot of people do really well with this. The problem is that there's a lot of manual work. So if you know how to manage setters, or you yourself have experience setting booked calls from your DMs, go for it. It's great, right? Very personalized, very easy to set up. You have people basically come in and send you like a keyword, or they can even reach out to you. Maybe they comment the word help in all caps or whatever, and then you send them a DM. You can automate this to some extent with ManyChat and with other tools like that. You can also have, like I said, setters. But the thing about DM setting funnels is it's very time consuming. And when we think about funnels, we want to think about things from, like I said before, how easy is it to set up, how scalable can it be from a revenue generation standpoint, and how quickly are you going to be able to create that cash flow loop and cycle, as well as defensibility and how hard it's going to be for someone to copy. DM funnels are extremely easy to copy. They can scale, but you will need to pay setters and have a very good setter and sales team to be able to warm up the calls and close. And they're very easy to set up. So there's some good sides and bad sides. If you are coming from zero, nada, nothing, and you have maybe a little bit of an organic following, maybe you've been producing value through your content, run a DM setter funnel. Like run a Instagram story, a Facebook story, a LinkedIn post, whatever it is. Get people to comment a certain word and then DM them with a resource or an asset, or just like to chat with them and give them some free advice or whatever. That will help you get your first 10 customers. Once you scale beyond that, it's going to be an enormous time suck unless you have setters or unless you're like really good at DM setting because it's, your profession, or you just for whatever reason happen to be really good at it. So it's a big time suck. That's why it's B and not higher. But for beginners, DM setter funnels are the place to be. Very, very solid. Okay, free swipe files or template funnels. So these are going to A tier in my opinion. If you are experienced, if you have something that people can templatize, and you really just have like the raw material, you have like, let's say for me, right? Like I've built 100 funnels. If I give all 100 funnels away as templates for free, that's a no-brainer for literally anyone at any time, because why not, right? So that's like the type of resource where it's a library of assets where you can really open up and sound like the expert from day one. I will say if you are a beginner and you just ChatGPT a template or something, it's probably not going to be as strong. And I would lean and steer away from that. So I would say if you have a rich library of expertise, go for it. If not, then I think that it may not be the one that you want to prioritize. You may want to prioritize one of the other funnels. So discovery call funnel, that's straight up F tier. Discovery calls, strategy calls, consult calls, like my goodness. We have seen these things since the dawn of Calendly and Zoom and Google Meets, right? So no one is going to want to book a discovery call with you. Like nobody wants to discover anything or have a coffee chat. Maybe they do, but if they did, they wouldn't need a funnel for it. They would just hit you up in the DMs or whatever it is. When you create a funnel, it's for the purpose of separating out specific traffic that you want to pre-qualify. It is for the purpose of actually getting people that are cold eyeballs to raise their hand and say that they're interested in something. If someone books a discovery call on your calendar and you don't have qualification questions, you don't have ways to sift out the people that are very interested from the people that are just like window shopping, then you're going to put yourself in a position where you are not going to be profitable with your time. You're going to be wasting your time. You're going to be wasting your energy, and you're just going to feel tired at the end of the day. Lead magnet funnels with original research, I would say, as much as I love them, I would say I'm going to put them in a C. So what I mean by original research is like, let's say that you have a white paper, right? Like, let's say that you do some, original first party data scraping because you have access to proprietary data or proprietary IP, right? In very specific circumstances, this can work well. But a lead magnet funnel with original research is not easy to come by. It takes a lot of time, and it is probably an asset or IP that is better deserved to be fulfilled in one of the higher categories, like a free course or a quiz or VSL, free training, things of that nature, as opposed to like, hey, get my checklist or my white paper, right? Or my ebook. So those don't necessarily do as well. Free trial or activation funnels, I'm going to also put these into the B tier. If you run a SaaS-based business, sure, these can work. But what do you know about free trials? If someone joins a free trial, maybe have some surveys, questions around them, or something to show and express their level and their degree of interest. But if not, like, you are not setting yourself up to really funnel through anyone, and it can divert the data that you're tracking. So I would say that it's a hard B tier. Honestly, I'm actually going to slap it down to C tier. I think that people are abusers of free trials. I think that if they can, they will put in several different emails. I know I do it, right? Like, I get a free trial for something, it runs out. I'm like, ooh, I kind of wanted to use that software for something else. Let me put in another email to get another free trial. And so then you have yourself in this cycle where, yeah, sure, you can exclude certain phone numbers or other secondary criteria. You can get people to put in their credit card information first, but then you're just playing a game like a race to the bottom, right? Like, you're not playing a game where there's infinite upside. You're playing to try to tweak and optimize and work and flow around this kind of, micro optimizing. You're not getting scalability. So I would say that it is a C tier, even for modern day SaaS businesses, I would say. Subscription and community funnels. So I would say that is like paid subscription and community funnels. I would say, honestly, I'm going to have to put this in C tier as well. I think if you have an organic audience, this can work really well. I think if you have strong credibility, this can work really well. But if you have all of those things, in my opinion, this is a funnel to have. Like, if you have a large repository of 500 videos, 1,000 videos of you just over the years, put them into a subscription community, get that monthly recurring revenue, like, do your thing. It's going to be the organic people that convert. or the people that are downsells from a high ticket that won't be able to pick up your higher ticket stuff. So it's going to be more of a revenue recoup than it's going to be like a primary revenue driver. It's also going to necessitate a lot of, it's going to be taxing. All right. You're going to have to check in with people in the community that are paying like $27 a month and they're totally like not even taking action. Maybe they're complaining because you're not in there as much, because you're not devoted, because you're more committed to your higher ticket stuff. People do it. I think that there's been a lot of overhype around the subscription model, especially with like the school games and everything. Some people can run it really well, but to be honest with you, not everyone does. And it needs to be either your entire business model or a way to recoup revenue. Everyone else, it's going to be difficult if you don't already have that degree and level of expertise. And finally, we have giveaways and sweepstakes. What can I say? Don't do it. Yeah, I don't know how to say it in any other way. Does it work? Can it work? Yes. I mean, I've had clients in the e-com space where giveaways worked super well. Sure. Were they super profitable? Not particularly. Like, they can be really good for getting followers, although the quality of the followers may be diluted. They can be good at getting names, emails, and phone numbers, building up your list size for credibility. But at the end of the day, they're kind of just like a flex. And you can work giveaways into literally any other different type of funnel. By themselves, they don't stand on their 2 feet because they're going to attract people who are just trying to get stuff for free. And so you're going to be that person. Like, you're going to be the person that people go to get stuff for free from, not the person that they go to get premium value, expertise, and, quality. You want to be known for quality and premium value. So I would say the top 3, in my opinion, are free course funnel, a quiz calculator or assessment, and your VSL. If you can swing it, the ones in A tier aren't any worse than S tier. They're just more effort to put in, and some of them are more scalable. Paid live challenges, book funnels, live webinars, case study funnels, and free swipe files or templates. Those are going to work really, really well on A tier. B tier are going to be situationally good, right? So maybe it depends on how your setup is, how big your audience is, how engaged they are, how many backend offers you have, what revenue level you're at, how many people you have on your team, and if they're good, what you enjoy doing. So B tier is kind of like on the fence, right? Free community funnels, newsletter funnels, low ticket, tripwire self-liquidating offer funnels, which I will throw in a caveat there. Self-liquidating offer funnels are definitely something that you should consider at some point in your business when you're doing over, let's call it $500,000 a year, I would say. That's when you safely can invest into SLO. And then your DM setter funnels. C tier, you could, if you want to do it, but it's not going to give you necessarily what you think you're going to be looking for, unless, like I said before, you have prior experience, you feel really strongly about any one of these, right? So an evergreen recorded webinar, so something that's pre-recorded, right? A paid workshop, consult, or call. Lead magnet funnel with original research, very important, needs to be original research. Don't do like a ChatGPT lead magnet funnel. It will dilute your brand to oblivion. Please don't do that. A free trial or activation funnel, paid subscription or community funnels. Then finally, stay away from these. I mean, I have no hate against them. These are like the grandfathers of the internet. And so I have all appreciation and respect for these mechanisms. They just simply aren't worth your time, which is the classic lead magnet funnel, right? Like how-to guides and ebooks, discovery call funnels, and giveaway and sweepstake funnels. So I hope this was helpful. You can click on this video here to see how I helped a creator build a free course funnel from $0 to $100,000 a month and just breaking down that entire process. You can click on this video here to see how I think through 7-figure sales pages. And you can click the first link in the description to hit me up on LinkedIn. We can chat and we can find a time to look through your funnel together. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you later. Peace.